Hello everybody, Jimmy is Promo here, and in this video I'm going to tell you guys everything you need to know about the Samsung Galaxy S7 and how to use it. Now before diving into the phone, I do want to say right away that this phone is IP68, which means it is dust-proof and water resistant up to 30 minutes, up to 5 feet. But if it was me to say it, I would probably say 4.5 feet just to be a little safe. But it is rated up to 5 feet and up to 30 minutes. Now, the cool thing that you will notice right away if you guys looked at the Galaxy S6 is that the camera protrusion is very small with this camera right here. So it's not sticking out like a sore thumb. And that is because it has a larger battery capacity. This has a 3,000 milliamp battery compared to the 2,500 that was in the Galaxy S6. And so this one is a little bit thicker. Now, what is the other thing that they added in that makes this thing huge outside of the IP68? They added in the micro SD card. So the cool thing is on the very top right up here, this is where you'd be able to put in your SIM card and also the SD card. Now, this thing is a little flimsy on the top. So I do want to say just be a little careful if you guys are opening and closing, which you shouldn't do that anyways, because once your SD card and SIM card is in there, you should be good to go. Now, here is the other thing that you'll notice right away when you turn on the phone, is this feature right here. This is referred to as the always-on display. And so this is something good to keep on there as on, because what it does is it tells you the information that you would like to know. If you missed a text message, a phone call, and also the stock email is on there as well. And so this will save your battery. So the always-on display, Samsung tested for 11 hours and it only went down by 6% on this device. Now, if you guys are getting the Galaxy S7 Edge, it would go down about 4% for that full 11-hour test that they did. Now, when you compare this thing going down within that 11-hour time frame, going down about 6%, if you were to push on and push off, push on and push off about 150 times during the day, that will drain more battery. So you might as well just keep this thing on. And it will actually dim down if it is dark or if it's in your pocket or purse or anything like that. So it won't stay this bright all the time. So going into the device a little bit more, one of the big differences between the Galaxy S6 and the Galaxy S7 is that the Galaxy S6 had a 16 megapixel camera. This one has a 12 megapixel camera. Now the big difference is that this one is actually having the ratio of a 4:3 for an image, and that's where these resolutions come into play. So when you look at the Galaxy S6, it actually had a 16:9 ratio, which was almost looking like this. And when you take it to a 4:3, you're making it look more like this, which is actually how every image is ever uploaded into any social media site. So if you're using Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you're taking a photo with a Samsung device that is in a ratio of 16:9, some of that will get cut off anyways. And so what you're left with is pretty much a 4:3 ratio. But this one right here has a better aperture, so it is an f1.7 compared to an f1.9, so it's better in low lit conditions. And then also this has the dual pixel technology, so where you'd be actually able to take it from two different directions, grabbing all the light with the distance and the direction of what your image of what you're taking a picture of. So one way to prove that this has the dual pixel technology is actually going inside of ProShot and clicking on this button up here, which is the center autofocus. So if I click on the center autofocus, it changes it into multi-autofocus. And what will actually happen is if there was something inside the screen, which it's kind of hard to see here, but there would be little green squares showing that it is focusing in multiple different areas. Now, the only cameras that have dual pixel technology is going to be Canon, and that is the EOS line, which is the 70D DSLR camera by Canon. And so Samsung licensed that technology. So this is the very first smartphone to have dual pixel technology. Now, looking back at the modes, you have auto, you also have pro, selective focus, panorama, and everything else. And then down here, there's a few of them that actually have a downloaded icon. So what you can actually do is you can go to the downloaded option on the very top, and this is where you can actually get more shooting modes. Now, sports shot isn't something that I technically have to have on the Samsung Galaxy S7 because the shutter speed on this phone compared to the Galaxy S6 is actually 2 times the shutter speed in normal light and 4 times the shutter speed in low light. So I didn't didn't really need to have that little sports shot. So one of the cool things that you're able to do with panorama is have an option to do either motion on or motion off. So if you do motion panorama, then you're actually able to relive that image that you took as a panorama shot. Now make sure below the video you look, I will actually place a link of the Galaxy S7 playlist. The Galaxy S7 playlist already has several different videos, and one of them was specifically on motion panorama. Now, the other thing that I have another video on that is going a little bit more in depth is one talking about motion photo. Motion photo, all you have to do is once you're inside of a shooting mode, and just so you guys know, motion photo also works. Hey guys, what's up? Motion photo also works with the front-facing camera as well. So just click on the settings icon, and this is where you can do motion photo. Motion photo takes the 3 seconds that happens right before an image is taken, so then you can actually go back and grab something that you have missed. And yes, this is different than live photos, and I'll also have a comparison video of the two coming up here shortly. Now, tracking autofocus is really cool, so check this out. So I have tracking autofocus on, and you kind of saw it a little bit from before. So let's say that there is something within your camera frame. Just actually touch on it, and you can see that little yellow square actually following my little whatever I have here, and it is keeping it in focus for me. So if you guys are taking pictures of kiddos or pets, this will actually keep track of them. Now, do you know what? I'm going to jump right over into what I was holding. So this right here is actually a adapter that you guys would be able to use for Samsung Smart Switch, but it can actually be used for much more. This can be used to plug in a USB drive. You can plug in a mouse, you can plug in a keyboard, plug it in your phone, do whatever you want to, and now you're actually interacting with your cell phone more than you ever have from before. So if you're actually jumping from an iPhone to a Samsung Galaxy S7, this comes in box, which is an awesome accessory and an awesome add-on that you get with the box value. So what you do is you download Samsung Smart Switch to your brand new Samsung Galaxy device. What you'll do is you'll plug this in, and then you'll actually just plug this into your iPhone. So if this was the iPhone cord, you would plug this in right in there. And then you plug this side into the iPhone, and bam, everything will transfer from the iPhone to your Samsung Galaxy device. You can also use Samsung Smart Switch if you're going from Samsung to Samsung or any other manufacturer going to Samsung. So this right here is a pretty big deal to transfer all of your content, and I have several videos showing off how Samsung Smart Switch works so that you guys can actually watch that as well. So let's actually head right back into the camera because there is one more shooting mode I do want to let you guys see here, and that is going to be with Hyperlapse. Hyperlapse is extremely cool, and again, I have another video showing off examples of how this works. So what you do with Hyperlapse is you click on the very top, and this is where you choose if you like it to be an auto, 4 times the speed, 8 times the speed, 16 times the speed, or 32 times the speed. So if you keep it in auto, let's say that you're walking and you're capturing a whole bunch of, maybe a busy street and you're walking or something. Well, what happens is if you bump or you jitter, this will actually go from the speed of 16 to 32 and then back down to 16. So it's not cutting off the video, it's basically skipping it extremely quick, which is a really cool feature. So make sure you guys go out there and play with Hyperlapse. And that's actually really fun. It's almost basically like a time lapse. One of the things added into the front-facing camera is the ability to do a front-facing flash. So you have the auto, you have on, and you also have off. Now, if you were to have it to on and you take the picture, it goes to a bright white screen to take your image. So the coolest thing is that you are able to take an image of yourself when it is pitch black. And then all the different shooting modes you have is wide selfie, video collage, live broadcast, virtual shot. And then since I have downloaded the animated GIF, that is where I'd be able to do that as well. So let's head back over to the front-facing camera. Let's click on mode one more time. Now, what else is inside of this screen? Right here is the info. This is where you can learn everything about what every single shooting mode is able to do. And you can see that at any point in time. And then you also have the option for more. So with more, this is where you'd be able to actually delete any of the applications of the shooting modes that you have already downloaded. Or what you can do is you can add a shortcut to the home screen. So if you're somebody who takes a lot of pictures of a lot of food, choose on the food mode and hit on done. And what happened is now you're actually able to go right into the food shooting mode right from your home screen. Earlier, we talked a little bit about the always on display. So this is where you can actually go inside of there and change some of the settings. So as you can see here, I can swipe down with one finger twice and it pulls up all the different settings into the phone, or you can take 2 fingers and pull it down at the exact same time, and that again pulls up all the different settings. So the always on display is right here. You just press and hold, and this is where you can change it to where the content to show is going to be the clock. You can do calendar, or you can do image. So if we were to choose on the calendar, and this is actually what it will look like. So if you're one of those people that always have to look at a date and you want to know what day it is, then the calendar is probably going to be for you guys. So if you're a person that does not need to have the always on display, you can turn it off. So if your phone is always in your pocket or always in a drawer, maybe it's in your purse or wherever it is because you're at work and you don't want it to be there, you can actually turn it off. Now you do have a lot of customization with the Galaxy S7 still. When you press and hold on the screen, or if you're to do a pinch to zoom on the screen, you have all these options down here to change your wallpapers. You can add your widgets. Here's the themes that you can make the entire phone look completely different, and you also have your screen grid. So all of these were also with the Samsung Galaxy S6. So right now I have mine set up for the 4x5, and you can do 5x5 if you want to. Just kind of move all your different apps around any way that you would like. An added application that was placed on the Samsung Galaxy S7 was referred to as Game Launcher. Now, Game Launcher was something that you're actually able to get on some of the older Samsung Galaxy devices through the Galaxy App Store, and that one was called Game Recorder. So what they did was they placed it inside the Galaxy S7, and what you want to do is head into your settings and find where it says Advanced Features. Inside of Advanced Features, I do have a video that shows all of this stuff. And again, just make sure you look below the video for playlists because some of these are individual to make it a little bit easier and faster to find. So here is Games. Once you click on Games, this is where you can turn on the Game Launcher, and you'd also be able to turn on the Game Tools. So what Game Launcher does, it's a way that you'd be able to play some of your favorite games and some of the featured games that Samsung kind of shows you and puts it into a launcher. And then it uses the Game Tools when you're playing the game. So when you see that little icon right over here, what you'd be able to do is touch on that if you're playing inside of a game. You'd be able to set it to where there's no alerts during a game. You can lock the recent app button and the back keys. You can also minimize the games. You can do a screenshot, and you can record. Now, if you are looking to record some of the gameplay that you're doing, just click on record, and this is where you can choose if you would like to have your image either larger or smaller. So if we were to make that one medium, you can either do a image or you could do the front-facing camera. So there's a lot of people out there that like to record themselves when they play games. So this one will probably be for them, which is the front-facing camera, and it is really cool. Now, where do you want the audio source to come from? You can do it from the game audio, so it'll only be able to record the game audio and not what you are able to speak and say. So right here I have it on microphone because it is recording externally the audio of the game, but it's also recording my voice. And then you got the video quality on the very bottom. You can choose it to be 720p. You can also do the 1080p for the quality. And then here is the bit rate on the very bottom, and I'm just going to do auto because that's based on the resolution, and that is probably just the best option to do. So when you choose on the game launcher, let's actually just go into Toy Blast. So Toy Blast is a game that I do like to play. So when you're inside of the game, this is where you'd be able to choose on that little settings down there, and right now I have everything basically turned on. So I have the no alerts during a game. So what'll happen is if somebody was to call me, instead of it being a huge piece of my screen there, it'd only be very, very small, and it's only the number. Now, this is where you'd be able to lock the recent apps button or the back button. So right now, if I hit the back button, the back button is going to work. Or if I actually hit the recent app button right now, it is locked. So the recent apps and the back button is now locked. So if there's anybody who actually bumps their keys when they play gameplay, now it won't happen anymore. And then you can minimize the game. So if you don't want to lose where you're at in the progress of the game, you can make it minimal and make it small. And you will not lose where you are. And then screenshot, very easy. Just hit the screenshot button and it takes a screenshot of what you're playing. Because some games does actually stop the functionality of hitting in the power and the home button to take a screenshot. And then here is the recording option. So right now it is actually recording the gameplay. If I was to go inside of here and click on play, now what it's doing is it's recording my screen, but it's also recording my camera right over here as well. So it's already recorded about 12 seconds of gameplay. So if we're to go inside of here, let's see, let's hit a couple things. There we go. It's playing and bam. Okay, so that's good enough. Now click on here and you can make your little face go anywhere you would like. When you touch on it, it is actually done, and now it is being saved. So where is it being saved at? It is now in your gallery. Clicking on the gallery, it is actually saved as what the game is called. So since I was playing Toy Blast, it is saved as Toy Blast. So let's go inside of here and see what it looks like. So right now it is actually recording the gameplay. If I was to go inside of here and click on play. Now what it's doing is it's recording my screens of gameplay. Playing and bam. Okay, so that's good. So that I think is actually really cool. So if there's anybody who uses different softwares or programs on their computer to record them doing gameplay, or they're doing something here and then putting it onto a computer, well, now it's already done and you can upload it straight onto YouTube or Facebook or whatever you guys are doing. So we spoke a little bit of what some of the phone can do. Now I do want to go back and let you guys know, just remember, there is wireless charging in the Samsung Galaxy S7. So not only is it wireless charging, but it is fast wireless charging, so it will be much faster than the normal wireless charging. And you also still have your Samsung Pay that you can use anywhere that you can swipe a debit card or a credit card, and it is much more secure than actually using a debit card or a credit card. Pop-up gesture is one of the advanced settings inside of the Samsung Galaxy S7. So let's say that I'm right here and I'm texting one of my best buddies and his name is random, but I also want to send a image. So some of the cool ways that you can actually interact with the Galaxy S7 is you can swipe down from a corner, either the right or the left side, and then now you're actually able to make this a little bit smaller. You can even make it extremely minimal that you can open right back up later on. And let's say I would like to share a picture with this guy. Now let's go into the gallery. And what I'm going to do is this icon that's right up there, that little picture that I took, I would like to share it with Mr. Random here. So what you do is you open up that little box there, the little circle, and you choose on the very first option on the very top left-hand side, which is Move Content. So this can be a paragraph, a sentence, an address, whatever it is, and you just drag it right on top of there. So this is now copying and basically placing in that image as a MMS, as a text message. So the cool thing about this phone is that it's almost kind of like having a PC. You have several different windows that you have a lot of stuff going on. And so this right here, I can even make my little gallery small as well too. So if you would like to have several different screens open, you are actually able to. Samsung has kept the ability to double press on the home button to where it goes into the camera extremely fast. Now on the lock screen, usually what happens is you have the call icon and also the camera. So that's a little redundant and repetitive, and basically, you know, if you were to swipe up and it opens up the camera, you know what, you can already do that by double pressing on the home button. So how are you able to change the two different options that I have here? So all you would actually have to do is pull down the notifications panel and click on the settings icon. Head over into the lock screen and security, and this is where you can go to the info and apps shortcuts. And then this is where you go to the app shortcuts and choose which one you would like to have on the left side and also the one that you like to have on the right side. So going into the lock screen and security, this is where you'll be able to choose how you like your lock screen type to be. Would you like it to be swipe, pattern, password, pin, or with your fingerprint, or you can even have none. So inside of fingerprints, this is where you'd actually be able to set up some of the security as well. So if you're going in and you would like to set up some of the different settings with your fingerprints, this is where you type in your number and it shows all the different things. So if your fingerprint is not working at the moment, you can put in, you know, a password or a pin to get inside. So this is where the security is on the very bottom, and this is where all of your fingerprints are at. So if you like to manage the fingerprints, this is where you type in that pin, so then nobody can get into your fingerprints and to change it. So what I'm going to do is actually go to the right, and what I'll do is I will go to remove. So now I will not be able to get into my phone with my right thumb. Now, to show you guys how to set this up, this is all you got to do. I would suggest to rotate the phone a little bit, so then this way you'd be able to unlock it in any other way. You know, maybe you're handing your phone off to somebody. Then you want to make sure you hold it with only one hand, because this is how you'll normally unlock your phone, and move it several different ways. So the reader that's on the Galaxy S7 is way more improved than any other phone that I've ever had by Samsung. So right now it's referred to as fingerprint number 1. So just so you know, make sure you rename it right away, because maybe you want to take off maybe your left thumb or right thumb and you took off the wrong one. I would suggest to do the right and the left thumb, so then this way you can actually unlock it with any hand that you're holding on to. And then this is where you can use your fingerprint verification for a web login, verify the Samsung account. You can use Samsung Pay and also the fingerprint unlock, which is unlocking the phone or your device. So if this phone is a little much and it has a lot going on, but you really want to have the Samsung Galaxy S7, but you need it to be a little bit easier, just go into the settings of the device and scroll on down to where you see easy mode. So easy mode, I can actually make this a separate video if I would want to, and I might actually do that in the future here. But I do want to show it in this long video here. And this is where you can choose what would you like to be set up in easy mode. So if you're somebody who just wants your phone to be easy, extremely, just 3 little screens and it's going to look like that, but you want to have the main camera to have all the features that's in standard, turn off the camera. So if that makes sense. Now maybe with the S Planner, you don't want to have all the large icons and you want it to be normal. Again, you can turn that off as well. So let's actually just go in and turn this thing into easy mode. And so this is what it'll look like. You have your main page, which will show the time, the date, the weather, your main 6 app that you use all the time. This is going to be the main, 12 people that you talk to the most. And then you just go into hitting on the plus, and then you add the people and everything else like that you'd like to be as your main top 12 favorites. And then you have your main applications that you use, and then you also have the more applications, so it shows everything else as well. So with this edit button up here, this is where you can take off some of these if any of these you would not like to have. And same thing there. If you had people set up in here, you can actually take them off as well. But if you also like to add more home screens, you have the option right there too, which beforehand they didn't really give the option for that. Now to get out of easy mode, you just pull down the notifications panel, click on the settings icon, and then you'll just go right back into easy mode, and then you take it right back into standard. Now just so you guys know, if some of you guys are playing with this phone and you notice that you don't have all of the shooting modes, it's probably because you're inside of easy mode. So that was one of the main questions that I had with some of my past videos as well. If you have a lot of apps that's on your main homepage and you'd like to create some little folders like this one right over here, just click on any of the applications and place them right on top of each other. And then you can change the title of what the folder is called and also the color. So Tools is something that I always have on my phone because it's basically going to be my calendar, my calculator, and things like that. And so once you have your folder created, you just move them all over right back inside of there, and then you now just created your folder. If you like to take something out of the folder or get rid of the folder, if you want to, you just pull it right on out and place it right back on the home screen. My guess is when you first get the Samsung Galaxy S7, it'll place the gallery inside of a little time option. And so what you can do is you can change it to albums, events, or categories. And so I usually have mine inside of albums, and then when you are looking at some of the images, you can move it on over, you can make them smaller, you can make them larger. So it's just a lot of different options that you guys would be able to do when you are looking at images, just so you guys know. So that has been pretty much everything that I can think about with the Samsung Galaxy S7 on what you guys would, mostly like to know and to get started with the Galaxy S7. Now, I will have much more videos coming out with the Galaxy S7, and I already have, I believe, close to 5 or 7 other videos, but it also depends on, when you guys are watching this video. So the Galaxy S7 does come out tomorrow. Today is March 10th, and it comes out on March 11th of 2016. So if you guys are getting this phone, I hope you guys have a lot of fun. If you guys have any questions with this device, or if there's any videos you guys would like me to do, please reach out and let me know. Write a comment. Follow me on any of my social media sites. Everything is at JimmyIsPromo, which is on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also subscribe to me here on YouTube. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys later.